Hi, I'm Graham Gardner, and today I'm taking a look at the refuge stones of Torfichan. Torfichan is a little village in central Scotland situated between Bathgate and Linlithgow, and the preceptory here is the only UK property outside of London that was awarded to the Knights Hospitallers of St John of Jerusalem, and they were a medieval monastic order similar to the Knights Templar. And there is a tradition of sanctuary stones surrounding the village in a 1 mile radius. This is the central stone here, and if you were within this 1 mile circle, you were guaranteed sanctuary and a fair trial at the preceptory. So this is the sort of centre of the circle, and you can see there's a very deep cut mark and a drainage channel on this one, which is very suggestive that it's a Roman altar stone. The crossbar to make it the cross looks like it's been added at a later date to Christianise the stone. But you can see it's very well worked. It has a tapering base, and round on this side there are 5 cut marks, which really look like it's a much older stone coming from more of a Neolithic site. And just a mile or so away from the village is the Neolithic henge of Cairnpapel Hill. So it's quite probable, I think, that the monks of the preceptory brought this stone down from there as a means of transferring the energy and trying to bring the old energy into the new Christian religion. So this is the central stone. The preceptory is well worth a visit. It's under the care of Historic Scotland, and it's usually open March to October. There's a quick view of it through the trees. So the first of our refuge stones is the Westfield stone, and as you gather from the name, this is situated to the west of the village of Torfichan. This one is similar in shape but much larger than the central stone, and it's not as well finished. It only really has this one face that's in any degree worked at all. And down the edge here there are some intriguing scratch marks, and if I was being very speculative I might suggest that it looks like Ogham writing, but it could equally well just be marks from foliage that's been growing against the stone for a long time. The undergrowth can be quite dense here, so winter is the best time to visit this one. And it's situated only about 100 metres off the road. It's on a little small mound or hillock in quite a prominent position, and it's quite a nice stone to go and find, and you can just about see the village of Torfichan from here. There's some damage to the stone on this side, as you can see, and most of these stones are supposed to have had crosses carved into them. So it's possible that this one had a cross at one point and it's been removed. Difficult to say either way on that one. So that's the Westfield refuge stone, and the next one we're going to look at is to the northeast of the village, and it's the Gormire standing stone. And here it is in the middle of a field. So again, winter is the best time to come and visit this one, otherwise it's usually hidden in the standing crop and it's hard to find. It's leaning at a jaunty angle, this one, but you can clearly see on the back here, you can see the cross marked out by the lichen here. It's very faded and worn, but it's still visible. And this stone looks like it's had a bit of a hard life. It's got lots of lumps and bumps missing, especially around the top edge here. And on the south face, it looks like there's a whole slice that's been carved off it. That may have been where there was a cross carving on that one that's been lost. Because of its position in the field of crop, it's probably been knocked over a few times and stood up again. There used to be another 2 stones in the fields nearby here which are now lost. They've been removed for field clearance and broken up. So this is about the only one that's worth looking for. Looking over in the distance here, you can see that radio mast on the top of the hill. That's where the site of Cairnpapel Hill is. It's just next to that mast, so it's an easy landmark to find it if you're trying to locate it in the landscape. And as I say, I think energetically the 2 sites of Torfichan and Cairnpapel are probably connected. Cairnpapel has 4 graves on it, which are the last additions to the site, and they're aligned east and west, suggesting that they are Christian graves, and they've been dated to the 1st millennium AD, which is just about in the zone for the preceptory, or certainly for early Christian settlement of the area. So I do think there's a strong energetic connection between the 2 sites. And we're up on the hill here, getting a bit closer to Cairnpapel. I'm not going to visit it in this video. You can see here we have a typical Scottish weather. It was sunny when I started out today, but it's now looking like I might be getting wet in a minute. This is Witchcraig Hill, it's called. There's some nice country park walks here, If I do a little zoom in on Cairnpapel, I have to excuse the wobbly phone camera here, you can see the mound there and a couple of the stones. The mound is actually a concrete dome that covers the central cairn. That's open again during the summer months from March to October. You can visit the site at any time, but if you want to get inside the cairn, that's the time to go. And I'll just pan round here. Torphichen is just over the ridge with the trees on it in the middle distance there. And as we pan round a bit more towards the north, coming over towards the Forth Valley here, just in the distance there you can see Stirling. And coming round where we have the Grangemouth Petrochemical Refinery, and on the other side of the River Forth you can see Longannet Power Station and the Ochil Hills. And this hill in the middle distance is Boyet Hill Fort. And coming round to Cockleroy Hill Fort, and looking beyond the river there we can see Rosyth Naval Dockyard and the hills of Fife just coming into view. So our sanctuary stone is just to the right of this picture. This is the Witchcraig standing stone, and it's the best of the three. Here it is, it's been set into the wall here. Used to stand outside of the wall, then it suffered some damage a few years back, and just at the end of 2017 it was put back in its place. So you can see the cross carved on this side, but it's actually much better on the reverse side. So let me just nip over and have a look at that. And here you can see is deeply incised in relief this double-armed cross, the Patriarchal Cross, or it's probably better known as the Cross of Lorraine these days. Now this was the original symbol of the Knights Hospitallers, although they're perhaps better known nowadays for the Maltese Cross, which is their current symbol. But the Patriarchal Cross was their original one, and they adopted the Maltese Cross after they were given Malta by King Charles I of Spain, who at the time was King of Sicily. And the Hospitallers were given custody of Malta and were very instrumental in protecting the island from Moorish invasions, including the famous siege of Valletta. If you're ever in Malta, make a point of visiting the cathedral in Valletta. Cathedral of St John is a really spectacular building inside and gives you some idea of the power that the Knights Hospitallers had back in the day. This cross with the two arms is also called the Archiepiscopal Cross, and it's usually carried on a staff by archbishops, where the top arm is shorter and it's meant to symbolise the plaque that was above Christ's head in the crucifixion. There is a third version of this with a third bar, even shorter still, which is called the Papal Cross, presumably because the Pope feels he's more important and wanted the extra bar. Anyway, that's the Witchcraig Refuge Stone, and that concludes our tour of Torphichen. I often run dowsing courses here because it is really interesting energies, so if you're interested in learning more about the area, check out my website, westerngeomancy.org, to see what we've got going on. I hope you enjoyed this little video. Thanks for watching.